Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at onpurposely.com.
We've all experienced it. You run into a friend from the past, but there's something different. They are changed. Maybe there is a calm where there once was a storm. Maybe there is gentleness instead of harshness. There's a new passion, a new life. What changed? Welcome to Brought Back to Life, a podcast where we explore stories of ordinary transformation.
If I had known that would probably be the last time I would live in the same zip code as my family, I would not have cried so much. I would have trusted God more. I would have visited all the time. And so I like to tell my daughter, because she's waiting to meet the person she wants to spend her life with, I tell her, don't waste this time. And so that time hasn't been wasted. But the reason I bring up this story is because of a dream God gave me in the middle of this disaster. He never quit on me, even though I was like, I can't go on. I had a dream. It was like 1 a.m. and I was on a cruise ship. I'm like, okay, this is kind of nice. In the dream, I remember thinking this. And Jesus in the dream, it was his voice. And he was like, where is this cruise ship going? And I said, to beautiful places. And he said, you are too.
He's good. And so I have to go back over these stories because when I do default to maybe I'm scared of God a little bit, I go back to remind myself, wait, he's been good to me. What explains that mercy on a 12-year-old who's crying out or a 30-something who doesn't have a second car and needs one really bad? To do something like that is amazing. So I go back over those stories and it reminds me that he's good. I'm also convinced now that his opinion of me is very different from my own opinion. Like being scared about not being a good enough person. Well, apparently God knows me better than I know myself, and he still wants to be with me.
I thought once I got divorced, that was it. God can't use me anymore. Nope, I'm all done. And you kind of walk around and feeling like I have a big D on my head. and if I heard that little phrase one more time, I was going to smack somebody. Well, it takes two. Obviously from someone who had never been through what I was going through. I had kids to raise. Was I not strong enough? Did I not fight hard enough? I kept forgiving and moving forward. What was wrong with me? I began to spiral before the divorce and went into a very severe, what they called severe clinical depression. And I have fought that for over 20 years. And that is not something I talk about. I'm a happy person. I am. And I learned many, many years ago that joy was a choice.
I went home and I told my mom everything. And she cried and said, sweetheart, I have failed to teach you my faith. I've failed you. And she looked at my stepdad and she said, Kevin, we're going back to church on Sunday. And she pulled her chair. This is the part I remember. She pulled her chair up next to me side by side. And she opened her Bible and I opened my Bible. And she said, the reason your homework is in Matthew, Mark, and Luke is because these are the 4 synoptic gospels. And each of them is telling the account of the life of Jesus. So to better understand John, you're going to understand the way that other people saw him. She made it understandable to me. And it wasn't threatening. And for my homework, she helped me so I could get the A's. And our family started going back to church. It changed the trajectory of our family.
I had a lot of trauma growing up. My father was a drug addict and a drug user. So just think about what that means for our household. All of those things just came to a head in college and out of college. And I was just, I just say I was a mess, but I don't think people around me thought I was a mess because I hope this doesn't sound pretentious or arrogant, but I'm fun. So it's a party. And, you know, if Sherry's there, there's going to be a party. And I was dying, having fun. And I don't know how to explain it unless you have this kind of personality where you see the cliff, like it's Thelma and Louise. You see, you are going to drive off and die. And I couldn't get my foot off of the gas.
The car I was in somehow caught fire, and I still think maybe it was angels who pulled me out of that vehicle sitting on the side of the road, because I was pulled out just in time, and the car caught flames and burnt. I still have my plastic glasses I was wearing at the time melted. So that was a real testimony to me that God wasn't going to let me die that way.
And that group of women prayed. They prayed for Zoe. They prayed for me, and I felt different. And when I got home, it was the first night that Zoe slept at least 6 hours. Something had changed, and the seizures started going away, and God healed her. I knew that He had done it. I knew that He had used the prayers of these beautiful, durable women to do something that I had been unable to do for 6 months. Oh, thank you, Lord. We are telling these stories of transformation so you can know and understand the power of Jesus in your own life. If you'd like to learn more about Jesus and how He can bring you back to life, visit us at onpurposely.com/whoisjesus. You can follow Brought Back to Life on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you're listening right now. Thanks for listening to Brought Back to Life from Purposely.